And welcome back to Live from Miss Conti's living room. It has been a very long time since I have made a video. So I'm going to show you two videos today, and they are going to be related to writing our fictional narratives or fictional stories. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go through the level 3 for our final good copy of our fictional narratives so that you guys understand what I am looking for. So if we look on this, I have just taken out the level 3 section of our rubric, which is, guess what, in your packages for your fictional stories. All right, so let's take a look here. Under ideas, the story is based on a developed character who experiences a problem. Remember back when we started fictional narratives, we spent about a week looking at character traits and developing our characters for our story. So if you have not included a well-developed character in your story, then you need to go back and think about how you are going to develop that character. Now remember, when we develop a character, we are looking at first who they are, what they look like, and also their character traits. Look in your writer's notebooks for the different character traits. If a character is evil, for example, if they are the antagonist in our story, we are going to make sure that we are saying things like, the evil man laughed as he hatched his plan, instead of the evil man hatched his plan. Sends the same message, but not really as exciting. So we're thinking about those action words and those character traits and how the character's actions portray who they are as a character. The next thing we're looking at is organization. Okay, so the beginning hooks the reader's attention. Most of the events help to build up the anticipation for the climax. Remember, it's not boring, bam, big explosion of some big problem that we have, because we need to know, how did we get to that problem? The climax of the story is engaging and clear. We should not have to wonder what your climax is. It should be clear. What is the main problem? What is that moment where the problem explodes? So if we think back to the example of in class, for example, Martin and I were bothering each other, and Martin got upset at me, I got upset at him, and then we got into a fight. That was the climax, us getting into a fight. The following action includes reasonable events that lead to a resolution. What does that mean? Well, that means that if Martin and I had a fight, are all of the events in the resolution related to that fight? So we had the fight, and then in the following action, we might have something about, let's think about it. Maybe everyone in the class was cheering us on. Somebody came to break up the fight. We both got called to the principal's office. So it's like we're taking steps to the resolution, and the resolution, if we remember, of that fake story we made was that Martin got suspended and Miss Conti lost her job, right? And then the conclusion includes the resolution to the problem, which is what we just talked about. The next part is voice. Now, voice is very difficult to teach. Basically, the voice of a story looks at the point of view, so we're keeping up the same point of view, and usually in fictional stories, that's third person. And the style of writing reflects the character, meaning that if our our protagonist is a very quiet, shy person, our story is going to show that that person is a shy, quiet person. The story is not going to be using really energetic verbs, for example, because the story should be reflecting your character, because the whole story is based on the character, not a series of events. Word choice. This is something we talk about all the time. Most of your word choices need to be creative, but they also need to be precise. Don't go into a thesaurus and just pick a word that is a synonym for one of the boring words that you chose. If you're unsure, check with a friend or check with me or another teacher. Is that an appropriate word that really shows and explains what I am trying to visualize in my story? Again, using strong verbs and using descriptive and figurative language. All right, and descriptive language goes with how a character acts and is not just adjectives. In figurative language, we're talking about similes, remember, metaphors, all of that exciting stuff. Sentence fluency is looking at a variety of sentences, sentence lengths, some short sentences if you are trying to maybe create some suspense or a problem or some sort of hook, whereas a longer sentence might be used for description. And when I model my writing in the next video, I will try to include a variety of sentence lengths and types. And then the last thing is our conventions. So level 3 is that there might be some errors because you guys are not expert writers yet, and that's okay. But the errors are in difficult language, difficult sentence structures, and not in the basic writing that we know how to do, okay? It's very important that you are reading your story as though you have not read it before. And if you have a sentence that is too long and has too many commas in it, well, guess what? It's too much. And again, most sentences are correct in some errors. So this is what I'm looking for. This is a level 3. We will continuously refer back to it, but I really, really suggest that as you're writing, you are looking through the rubric to make sure that you are including all of these parts to our story. All right? So in the next video, I am going to model a story that I made up for you. And we are then going to come back and look at how well I met some of these expectations. Thank you for watching. Come back for part 2 of Miss Conti's Live from Your Living Room modeled writing.